So everybody has medicine to offer to this world. By medicine, I mean something to give that is healing, something to give that elucidates or illuminates or provides something of value to someone else. This could be even the lowest of low person that you can think of, and maybe that just seems weird, but there is medicine there. There's a lesson there. There's something to learn there. And really the most important of medicines is the medicine you could provide for yourself. Now, what do I mean? Everybody will follow certain patterns. You know, we have different strengths, we have different beliefs, different preferences. We're all created differently in one way or another. Maybe we have some similarities, you know, there are certain patterns, but the configuration is different regardless, right? So to make this more practical, especially to you, to me, to the self, to everybody, you're going to be able to figure out what your medicine is, even if it's just temporarily. And I'm going to explain why I say temporarily, but the reason I say temporarily is because the medicine could shift and change. So our inner world and our outer world are reflections of each other, okay? They're in constant communication. And when we begin to pay attention, we'll start to see signs. We'll start to see things that really call out to us. And there's a reason there. Now, I'm at a point in my journey where now they are physical manifestations, right? So a certain plant will call to me, a certain animal will call to me, but really there's something inside of me that's being reflected outside, and that has a message for me, or there's something that being is reflecting back to me that I'm going to start paying attention to. And this is where you get different kinds of medicines: bear medicine, badger medicine, wolf medicine, jaguar medicine, etc., etc. Like if you start to study these different types of native traditions, indigenous traditions, they have a lot in common. Actually, they have a lot of common across the board. I don't think that is not a coincidence. Now, I'm not going to say I know everything about this type of medicine. I only know as much as what I have used for myself. There are other people much more qualified than I am, and that know much more and have been at their craft for decades, and probably passed down generation to generation. So I would highly encourage you to look into that once I'm done with the video and kind of direct you what I'm getting at. But you will start to see universal patterns like that. Like, why is it that across the board of cultures and nations, and you know, borders don't matter, the central figure, the central meaning stays the same, and our own intelligence can perceive that as well. Like somehow we're able still to take that message without even the prior knowledge from like reading a book or whatnot. So let's bring this back to earth. Let me make it more practical. So for me, it started off as dreams, right? Dreams are revelations to the unconscious, and opening to the unconscious. And I began to see symbols, right? I began to see certain things that are recurring. So I recommend everybody to actually have a dream journal. Put it under your pillow or something with a pencil. And even if you're half asleep, write it down. It doesn't make sense, but maybe when you wake up or fully wake up, yeah, it'll jog your memory, and you'll be like, I dreamt that, like I don't even remember. And you'll start to see the pattern, the landscape of your dream world. There is a landscape. Like you will notice that you go back to the same things, and you start to see the same things. That's a really good way to start, because everybody pretty much dreams. Like, and if you have trouble dreaming, take a nice mugwort bath, and you'll most likely start dreaming. Now, start small just in case. Little goes a long way for a lot of people, and experiment with that. I'm not a medical professional, but it's a really good recommendation. But for practical purposes, dreams tend to take a little bit long to start to access that. Unless you already have a dream journal, or you're already very aware of your inner dream landscape, then you can use that now to start to see the pattern within you. But for most people, especially I would say men, I can only speak because I am a man, but I notice this in men, friends, acquaintances, groups I have been in, images, certain characters, certain myths, certain historical figures will just pop out at us, and we will all have different favorite of this, of that. So for me, you know, I go through different stages of what inspires me. For a while it's King Leonidas, right? Like the warrior king. Like for me, like when I'm feeling like I need to tap into that warrior king energy, I really start to feel King Leonidas. I want to read his books. I want to watch 300. I want to be like, "Arr!" While I've also had a stage of being really into Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism, the Philosopher King. And then for a while, when I felt like I was in my most peak dominating era, it was Alexander the Great, the Conqueror, and then so on and so forth. For you, it might look different, right? It might be Nikola Tesla, who is a master magician, right? He mastered technology, super smart, unconventional. Or you really like Thomas Jefferson, whoever it is, right? There's something calling out to you, and it's because there's something in that figure that reflects something within you. And there's a medicine there that the universe or your inner world is wants to take in, wants to integrate. And believe it or not, plants are the same thing. Plants have certain patterns within them. They're ruled by certain planets. They even have psychological, spiritual uses. It's not just the physical. It's not just the chemistry. For example, for a while, for a few months, it was stinging nettle for me. And stinging nettle is ruled by Mars. And what is Mars? Mars is the god of war. It's masculinity. And you can tell by the plant, it looks aggressive. You look at it, it's very angular. It has these trichrome needle projections. They sting you, so they are aggressive by nature. Yet, oh man, I just saw a hummingbird. See, like I have a message right now. The hummingbird. I've been seeing a lot of hummingbirds too. It is spring, to be fair, but like they'll just come at me, man. Like they'll just come at me. I always see it as such a good omen. So I feel very blessed to be here with a hummingbird right now. Back to stinging nettle. Despite it being a Martian plant ruled by Mars, it's actually really good at treating a Mars constitution, what is called a Mars constitution. A Mars constitution is a lot of yang, so masculine energy. It's a lot of heat. Mars, it's that red planet, right? It's an excess of heat. Stinging nettles is very nourishing. So it's a Mars planet. It looks aggressive, but it has an antipathetic properties that treat an overly, you could say masculine, overly Martian, overly yang person. It's very nutritive. It's actually one of the most nutritious plants you can have, and it has a lot of mineral salts, and it's very nourishing. It's cooling. I use the word antipathetic. Antipathetic just means like the opposite, like it's used for the opposite. So Mars is aggressive, it's heat, and it looks like a Martian planet, but it treats an excess of Mars. So you see there's like this duality just within the plant, right? So when I was attracted to stinging nettles, I was at my burnout zone. I didn't even know I was at my burnout zone, as I often get, because I just push myself that I'm not even aware. So I was in my burnout zone, and stinging nettle just kept popping up, and I would eat stinging nettle, and I just felt very called to learning about stinging nettle, and I'm like, oh, I mean, that makes sense. Like, but the plant is telling me something about myself right now. I'm too hot, and I felt it. I felt physically a lot of heat within me, a lot of excess heat, not in a good way, and I was burning out. I felt like I was burning the wick at both ends. So you see, it became a physical manifestation. I learned about it, and I perceived it as well. This makes more sense for someone like me who loves herbalism. That's my passion. I've been studying it, not super extensively, but little by little. And I love to forage, and I love to learn about plants and all these awesome esoteric things. But for you, that may be different. Maybe it's animals, right? And you'll know. And for example, like throughout my whole life, I've loved predators, animals like that. Those were the ones I loved the most. Like, I would say the winner of all animals that has been my favorite, and it has never like, it's a crown, it's the king, has been the wolf. I've always loved wolves. Like, it's something about the wolf always called out to me. I felt it in my soul that I could run along wolves. Like, wolves are just incredible beings, and it goes far beyond the looks of the wolf, right? It's the meaning, it's the energy. And throughout my life, I've had different animals that called out to me. As a child, I loved the bear. I haven't analyzed that yet. I haven't really thought about that, but I was like, there's probably a reason why I felt called to the bear, you know, the black bear. And Jaguar came to me during my first initiation into manhood, which was a few years ago. And he came to me into a dream, and the jaguar became one of the most significant animals for me. And I went through these different phases, and now it's become a little bit different. Hummingbird is one of them. As I just saw hummingbird earlier while filming this. Hummingbird is another one, and that's a little bit different. I've never had really birds before, or something so delicate and feminine, but it just shows a transition point and what I needed at that time. So the two predators right now that I've been seeing a lot is wolf and jaguar. And wolf is always somewhat there in my life, but now it's a lot more prominent. And jaguar, I see it more as like it's coming to me eventually. Right now, he's tracking, and he can see into the darkness. And he's tracking my thoughts. He's tracking the landscape of my mind. He's tracking the landscape of the unconscious. He's not making any moves. He's simply becoming master of his environment. So for me, that is becoming a master of my inner environment. And no moves yet, because when the jaguar strikes, you won't see him. You won't know. Every step is calculated, and it's a lightning strike. He walks with intention. He knows what he's getting. And you can see that in his eyes. It's a very potent, intense energy. It's not the one I'm accessing right now, because like I said, jaguar is observing. He's getting to know the landscape. He's tracking these enemies. And the similarity I see between both of those, the wolf and the jaguar, is that they both see in the dark. They both see in the dark. So right now in this dark night, there's a capability that I'm starting to see in the dark. Although I'm stepping and I don't know where, I'm able to still see, or I want to access that seeing in the dark. And the way I interpret that is it's a different form of perception. Now for you, maybe you already know, maybe you already went to Google an animal that came up to you or that you've been feeling, and it could be the coyote, it could be the hummingbird, it could be the crow, the raven. Look into it. I don't know enough about every single animal out there, and I'm not gonna discuss that in this video, but there are others, especially on YouTube for free, who will tell you what that medicine is. What is the message behind this type of medicine? We're all called to different things, and there is a reason. There is something being brought to you by yourself. You just have to learn how to perceive it, how to start to see it, start to pay attention, because it's there. It's there on every level. And I would say those are the most easily accessible ones. Like I said, I notice these patterns in men and women as well, but what I know is men, because most men like predators and these more masculine type of figures, warriors, kings, conquerors. It's just that archetypal energy that we're typically accessing. And it's important to know, because once you start seeing these patterns, you'll start to see them on all kinds of scales, and you start to see the pathway. You become a pathfinder, and you're able to move in more alignment with yourself, with your soul, because you have that natural intelligence within you, and it's calling you. We're just not seeing it a lot of the time. And trust me, I didn't see that till very recently, and now it's becoming more and more apparent how these layers start to appear. If you're going through a hard time right now, like I am, it's been a difficult period for sure. You notice what appears to you is different, but it's there to help you in one way or another. Maybe you're also seeing these animals that are more associated with the underworld, or more associated with the darkness, or maybe they're there to offer you illumination or hope. Whatever message it is bringing you, it is directly for you. It is directly within you. Embrace this medicine, embrace these gifts. Start to understand your inner landscape. So a really good way to start to understand the inner landscape is by observing the outer landscape. What is coming to you? What is calling out to you? What is even directly around you? Like if you have a messy room or an overly clean room, like that will say a lot. Maybe look, where are you right now? Maybe you're at work, I don't know, but like that will say a lot about your inner landscape. Like, is there anything to clean up? Maybe there's something to clean up in here. And trust me, like right now my room it's not a total disaster, but there are things that I've been putting off. Like I'll put that away later, or I'll do that later. And it's like funny, I'm like, wow, I guess maybe there's some things in me that I'm like, I'll deal with that later. No. Let me intentionally move this way. And then you start to intentionally move inside you that way too. It's crazy how that works. Like right now, like I feel like today, I have so many ideas, so many like lightning bolts of inspiration and downloads and spiritual insights. I have like 2 pages written and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Okay. And then sometimes it's just dead silent. It's just, okay, nothing for you now. Just be. Just exist. Even the painful moments, they hurt so good, right? Even when it's like heart-wrenching and you have anxiety. I say this with a smile, but trust me, I wake up and I'm like, this again. Okay. Just breathe. Because genuinely you can breathe through anything. That's another thing. The breath will tell you, your posture will tell you, who you're around will tell you. Like lately, I've just been receiving so many gifts. Like if you could literally, like people have been giving me this and that, and then I'm like, whoa. Like I'm grateful. I'm not saying like stop, but I'm like, the universe is giving me. It's showing me that even without asking or without pursuing or without like having to struggle to receive this thing, people are just giving me, like they just want to give me things. So okay, I'm gonna receive. And God, like I'm so grateful. I obviously thank the person, but I'm like, you have no idea how much that actually means to me. You have zero idea like how much that touches my heart and how much that confirms certain things. Like it's literally like the universe, you know, this connection, this entanglement. And life really starts to look like that when you begin to see these patterns. And it starts with something as simple as identifying your favorite historical figures, or identifying your favorite character, or identifying your favorite animal, or what animal is calling to you, or the plants. If you're into herbal medicine, and maybe you are because you've seen some of my videos about holistic health, even looking outside your door to your yard and seeing what weeds, I don't like saying that, but what plants are growing around you, it'll often reflect something that you need. Actually, this is something one of my friends, and he's an herbalist, he said that people believe that what grows in your area or what grows outside of like your home, whatever, is actually what that environment needs or what that environment is reflecting. And I know that because now stinging nettle never grew where I live, and then suddenly it started popping up. And what really grew was this chickweed, and chickweed is a lunar plant. Chickweed is it's a great lymphatic mover, cleanser. I think I'm using the wrong word, but it's great for lymphatic, so immune system related. So detoxing, it's ruled by the moon. That's the emotions, right? It's something that I neglected for a long time because I'm your typical you could say, if you get to know me, yeah, I look like a very mercurial because that's the ruler of my chart, but I'm actually a very serious stoic person if you get to know me. And sometimes I need to loosen up. I'm very like in control, rigidly internally. I'm just a very stoic person. If you get to know me a little bit better, you know, I really have to tell myself, hey, like have some fun, enjoy it, let it go. But being born under the full moon, that means that I have the opposite internal emotional world. It's ironic as hell. Like, okay, I'm this super like serious guy, right? And everything feels like a mission and I'm on my mission. But then internally, emotionally connected to the moon, I have the most sensitive, or one of the most sensitive signs associated with the moon. And I'm actually a very deep feeler very sensitive, but I tend to neglect that and bound it up, right? Bound up the moon, bound up these emotions. So chickweed is the most abundant plant that grows near me, and I couldn't see the significance of it. I just was like, oh wow, this is a great plant. It's super cooling, very, very cooling plant. And I couldn't see that the plant was basically telling me, yo, chill. Here, I'll give you some of my cooling properties. Hey, pay attention to your sensitivities, pay attention to your emotions, listen to the moon. And now I'm starting to notice my yard is more diverse actually. So literally go outside and check what grows around you, okay? Like, I think you'll be surprised what you find. Either that or it reflects something about the environment. I've been into some very dense, negative, heavy type of areas, like energetically you could just feel it feels gross. You ever been somewhere haunted and it just feels kind of gross? So I've been to places that have been, you could say, abused, where bad things have happened. And this is an outdoor naturey place, okay? And what grows? An abundance of poison hemlock. Like poison hemlock, I've never seen so much poison hemlock in my life, and I've seen quite a lot. So a lot of poison hemlock, a lot of what are they called? But the castor bean is that plant. It's a very poisonous plant. It's an invasive. Some stinging nettle. Those were the primary things I saw, and I was like, huh, that's weird how it's this like poisonous area, and it's like a poisonous area. It like energetically because of the things that happen there. To conclude this video, start to see these different patterns, and if you're really beginning, definitely something as simple as getting to know your favorite figures, something like that, and then venture out into animals and dream work and etc., and you're gonna feel more connected and more in the flow. Anyway, if you like this video, I invite you to subscribe and to like, and just for fun, let me know what kind of medicine you think you have or you bring, or what you're attracted to. It could be an animal, a plant, it could be anything. Just get creative with it. There are no wrong answers, so let me know, and I will catch you in the next video.